So why did we actually decide to watch Heat in the end? I suppose we just...
You know what it got me to realize was, I mean, beyond the fact we just don't want to deal with
the themes of the
movies are too close, you know.
Yeah.
The sync gets too personal.
Too freaking abusive and crazy, yeah.
But it's rather about Regency. Royalty.
Okay.
No, is about, for me, it's because I've just done that collage of his posters of being the Iceman, then heat is applied, and he thaws, and this is the steam experiment, so the vapor's rising. And I tried to look for a Thunderheart today, because I kind of thought Thunderheart was kind of what happens once you've thawed.
Yeah.
Thunderheart.
But we couldn't find it.
Thunderheart, so we're going to have to order it, but might as well start with Heat. Well, we should be probably starting with Top Gun, but that's okay.
And I like that we just saw Val Kilmer over the train tracks, because the tweet I just posted about Val Kilmer was him and Ghost in the Darkness on a train. And I just think trains symbolize sync, because they're entrainment.
Entertainment.
Yeah. So yeah.
Made a right on Bennett Boulevard.
So we got Machete.
We're a mile and a half from you.
And we're watching Heat.
Yeah. There's Pacino. Oh! And there's Val Kilmer, who we know is Moses, who plays Moses in the film The Ten Commandments, the musical, as well plays Moses in the animated film Prince of Egypt. And here he has a blue star in his heart with the yellow rod and serpent, just like that Moses raises in the desert, being the Kundalini.
So it's perfect. That would be like, you know, you associate Moses with the pharaohs and with the rod of the caduceus rod. And I like that you just told me that you're reading the Hermetica, which is the same deal. You got the rod, like, I mean, wouldn't Thoth be holding that rod? That would be like his rod.
I think so.
Yeah, he's like, that's traditionally. I like your sun over there.
That's the Amazon.
That's the Amazon. Yo, you took that picture.
I took that picture on the boat of the Amazon.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So what have you made here?
I made a collage because I can't write and get things down. So I'm just thinking a lot about Moses and the raising of his staff, or the rod, or the serpent up the staff, as really being just a symbolism of raising your Kundalini energy. And for me personally, I see that connecting to the use of ayahuasca as a tool to do that. So with ayahuasca, we learn to, you know, raise and connect up through our crown chakra, and that's often associated with the number 7.
Right.
Yeah, and so I find that interesting because last night I was watching the movie Real Genius with Val Kilmer.
And we can see he's got like a atom on his finger. In that.
Oh yeah, and the poster, so right, his Jupiter finger is like spinning an atom, and it's, you know, all nuclear. You know, start watching the film; it's all to do with nuclear technology.
Yeah.
And you know, I love toxic waste. Well, that's, you know, comes from nuclear,
right.
You know, that's one of the concerns. But he has the ET antennas, which is kind of neat because, one, we're just been focused on ET with the death of Elizabeth Taylor a couple of days ago, and her name being ET. And she has a big heart, right? Just like E.T. does in the movie E.T. with a big glowing heart. And
actually, I don't get the big heart thing for Elizabeth Taylor. What is that from?
People are just, everyone says she had a big heart. That's the name of, or a lot of the titles of the articles talk about the big-hearted, the last star, the big-hearted star.
Right.
Because she was. She cared for people when people, you know, persecuted them, right?
That's right. Michael Jackson.
Rock Hudson.
Right. Okay.
She, you know, she had a big heart, man. And like E.T. Who had a big heart.
Big glowing heart, just like Jesus, you know.
Just like Jesus. And she just, you know, she's like the bluebird, or she resonates and symbolizes the bluebird flying over the rainbow.
Right.
Which in many ways seems to be like flying past through the chakra system, which is the rainbow. Which is
the bluebird of happiness, of joy.
Bluebird of happiness, so.
Yeah.
So, you know, her death was very
over the rainbow.
Poignant and pointed to that as another point to this whole thing. Anyway, so just to keep going, then we have this other story that seems to be going on right now, which is this nuclear meltdown.
Right.
Which there seems to be a massive sync fallout demonstrating this.
And
It's
Val
so embedded in
Kilmer.
our subconscious, in our films for so long.
Right.
Here it is, right? So it's and what I found interesting, I saw this diagram from the International Atomic Energy Association with their levels of severity of nuclear accident. And number 7 is major accident, and it's kind of, you know, purple. Or, I mean, that's kind of what people associate.
And this is our
with
Iceman, so it makes sense with melting and meltdown and.
Yeah, and it's the same thing as like Mercury rising, which is like the temperature rising, the Mercury rising, and the Hermes rising.
Right. And that was just marked because it was Bruce Willis's birthday recently, and.
Yeah, and so which is interesting, Val Kilmer being in here, real genius with these ET antennas, which is, you know, that's what's this is like an antenna, right? When you burst your crown chakra, you're becoming an antenna, and
so it's sort of like the nuclear reactors are representing.
The nuclear reactors are representing this process.
A reaction to to the rising of the Kundalini energy of great mass.
Great mass. So you know it's happening, and you know, I find it interesting. Exodus 42. And
nuclear reactors are fission. And stars are fusion, so it makes all this atomic atom stuff very relevant.
And I believe this.
And star core.
This, what we're doing, is fusion.
Right.
And what's think is fusion? It's acts of love, you know.
And you were saying Exodus?
Well, I just mentioned because we're going to Val Kilmer here, who is really showing the 7 crown, ET, nuclear, love, toxic waste, and you know, Jupiter finger, and Exodus 4:2, and 4:2 being the answer to the universe, life, and everything.
Right.
And kind of looking like the symbol for Jupiter. Exodus 4:2 is, and the Lord said unto him, Moses, what is that in thine hand? And he said, a rod. Right. And I see the rod as that Kundalini.
It's the staff of Hermes. It's the
staff of Hermes, the rod, it's everywhere.
The rising.
And it's interesting because Val Kilmer is Moses, as it says right here, specifically in this musical. And plus in
many other things.
Many other ways.
Yeah.
But so today on March 25th, which is interesting because today is an Annunciation.
Annunciation.
It's the day that supposedly Mary was impregnated by the Spirit.
Okay.
So perhaps the reactor core being breached.
Yeah, it's the rising. Like the bluebird is the bluebird of joy is rising and
conceived.
Yeah.
So there's some kind of spiritual process undergoing.
Some planetary alchemy.
And all we can do is savor the moment.
Right. And Starcore.
And smoke tobacco like Charlie Sheen.
And Starcore and reactors are an anagram. So it's kind of like a star is being born on Earth.
Yeah, and the reactors, the star core, they've been breached.
And we might be going up to level 7.
That's the thing, we're going to level 7. We're going to level 7 right now.
So the 7th chakra, the crown is opening, and Cleopatra has just passed away. Yeah, and you know, which is interesting, I just want to show you one last thing. Okay.
Do you have time on that thing?
Yeah.
Is, Winnie the Pooh. It was just coming out. Poster's perfect because here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here's level 7, Winnie the Pooh.
Right.
Raising the Kundalini and getting the honey. Catapults everybody else into the realm of honey.
Right.
And then what happens after that? Well, there's a flood. A flood of honey.
Right.
And I think we're going with
the thaw, the meltdown.
The meltdown.
And it's funny because Winnipeg is right now going through the meltdown. The ice is falling out there. And Winnipeg is from Winnie the Pooh gets his name from Winnipeg.
And what's this boat? And that's the Ark. And that's love.
Right. Cool.
That's good.